Welcome to the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Welcome to ITSP Magazine Podcast Radio. You're about to listen to an episode of Through the TechVine. So be quiet, pay attention, and get inspired. There is one truth that is not told enough. Technology is not magic, but it can be magical. Technology is human. It is part of who we are, our evolution, our future. Will it be a dystopian or utopian one? Well, that is up to us and nobody else. Knowledge is power, now more than ever. Blue Lava is the first business platform for CISOs to manage their security program. Blue Lava guides security leaders to effectively measure, optimize, and communicate their security program with confidence and ease in one platform. Learn more at bluelava.net.
Welcome to our bus show.
Oh, it sounds dark.
Okay. I'm excited for the new year with many more shows.
There we go.
So it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
Is it?
Every year people say, "Oh, I hope next year is going to be better," and we've had a lot more of I don't think anybody going into 2020 would expect the pandemic. So, I hope it's always better. I think we always hope for better years, but I just take at this point a year that at least we can say goodbye to COVID for a while.
Yeah, I agree. There's been a lot of hopes and going back to normal, whatever normal is, and here we are. Buckling up again.
Yep.
So I think we can be hopeful though. Sean, are you?
I'm hopeful.
Just say like you mean it, please.
All right. I'm really, really hopeful.
There you go. Energy.
I think there's good stuff coming. I know I personally kind of deal with it by keeping busy and keeping my mind going and off of all the stuff that makes it hard to deal with, I think. So I pay attention, but also don't pay attention. And I think we have a lot for ITSP Magazine coming in the new year. So I'm excited for all that for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I think good things there with our friends, you and Diana, of course, and all our hosts. So, yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, we got to keep going, right? And hope for good things and for moving forward. Yeah.
But I think this is a great point. It's when you can take, as we say sometimes, lemons and make lemonades, right? And just say, you know what, this is something that it's a pause that I'm now choosing to have, but I can get the opportunity to get really creative and build up this energy for when you can just go back and be yourself, and again go to conferences and meeting with people. And I'm talking about our circle, our community of technologists and cybersecurity and hackers and all the good stuff that I really miss. I really do miss.
And there have been some good things about the pandemic. My cat is way more attached to me than she was before, which I like.
Hopefully not with claws, just emotional.
No, she's much snugglier than she was. We have two cats, and one is basically Ed's cat, and he always snuggles Ed. But the other cat, she's gotten a lot more connected to me. My dogs are even more snugglier and connected. My blood pressure is way down, which I think is because I'm not on a plane and in an airport every single week. So there have been some benefits too.
See, I like that. And I maybe I'm just teasing here for what will be kind of my news. It's to, I don't like to do the prediction at the end of the year, especially when it comes to the cybersecurity one, because they're so gloom and doom all the time. I don't want it to be that. But I found a really good article from a guy, a futurist, that I will mention when the time comes, with some really good 5 kind of prediction for 2022 that are not those crazy just made it to do the headline. I think they're very well thought, and as a consequence of these 2 years of pandemic and digital transformation that we've been living in, so we can keep our feet on the ground and still kind of see what the technology is bringing us. So I'm excited to
So are
talk
you
about it.
saying he's not listing the 2000% increase in Log4j patches coming in 2022?
No, this guy, that's we'll leave that to someone else.
All right.
We're not going to make names here, but our good friends here and
Yes.
there, they do that.
Exactly. Nice.
But we're not doing that because we're not that show. This show
This is not that show.
is not that show. It's not that 70s show. So, no. Okay, you know how we always talk about a little bit of the TV things that we've watched, and I know we were doing this before beginning the live broadcast, but I gotta say something. I'm gonna ask you both. Did you like The Matrix, the first one?
I enjoyed it.
I did like the first one, but I actually didn't see the second or third because.
I'm with you, Diana.
Huh?
I'm with you, Diana. I didn't see either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just I read about it, and the second one got such bad reviews that I was like, I guess I'm just out.
I'm assuming you haven't seen the Resurrection. Sean?
No.
Is it good?
Don't.
Are you screwing over their chances for a box office hit, Mark?
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm that relevant, to be honest with you. Like, I think, no. But as a friend, I'm recommending.
Are you saving us?
Invest my time elsewhere.
I need to rewatch the first one and fell in love with it again. It's just, I can't even make sense of it. So that's my movie comment.
You think the original will wash away what you're trying to unsee?
Yes, I think so, because
right.
this one, it's kind of like very focused on the original one, and I just need to refresh how good that was. So that's my comment on the movies going on right now. So I'll stick with Christmas movie, which I've seen quite a few.
There you go.
These days. Yeah.
So any new Christmas movies that you recommend? So I have to actually look up the name, but Jimmy O Yang and I think Nina Dobrev have one. It's a rom-com on Netflix, and it's great. It doesn't have it's Love Hard, I guess is the name of it. Which it seems like an odd. All right, I guess it's called Love Hard. But it's on Netflix. It's the terrible name, but Jimmy O Yang he's incredibly funny in it, and Nina Dobrev is very good, and it's just a really good kind of different approach. He catfishes her, not really meaning to, and then she goes to his house and finds out what's going on. But it's just really, it's a lot of fun, and I feel like it's got rewatchability. So I would recommend that as a new Christmas movie for people.
Okay. I'm more leaning towards the fantasy one, so where you actually deal with Santa Claus. So I've rewatched the Santa Chronicles, the one with Kurt Russell, and the second one is with his wife too. So that's really funny and good. And then there was one actually that I enjoy, was produced in Holland and Belgium. And it's about I think it's called the Klaus family, and it's not that big Hollywood production, but it was really funny, entertaining, and I think it's on Netflix. I would definitely recommend that one. So that's my pick. Don't watch The Matrix. Watch the Santa Claus one.
Stay away from the Matrix Revolution.
Small budget. Support small productions. Sean, what's your advice?
So I mean, those, you probably know I don't spend a lot of time watching movies, but what I did come across was a young filmmaker. I think she's in the greater Lapland area. And she put together this little film where she's kind of documenting the changes in time and how it's light all day and all night at certain times of the year and dark all day and night the other parts of the year, and how she deals with it and keeps busy and keeps her mind fresh and does ice fishing and ice swimming and I don't know, it was very inspiring and she's a filmmaker, so it was very well done as well.
Cool.
And she did the voiceover and a lot of great scenery of snow and mountains and streams and lakes, and yeah, it was just it was enjoyable to watch and inspiring.
So Sean, before we got on, we were talking about Yellow Jackets and my great obsession with it, and you're not getting into it after the first episode. And what I don't understand is that you love this documentary about the beauty of nature and this woman out surviving in it, but when it's a bunch of high school students that have crash landed in the Canadian wilderness and resort to eating each other, you don't like it.
It's a matter of taste.
A slight difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Sean prefers fish
to humans eating each other. Okay.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a great anthropological experiments and fascinating. And okay, I'll drop a quick news that I almost like, you know what, maybe we'll talk about this. And then I'm like, no, it's the last episode of the year. I want to keep it light. But because you mentioned this, there is some scientists predicting that as we go into space, so as we go to explore other planets, which not the moon is close enough, but when we're really far away, they're predicting that the first explorer to go on these planets, like on the moon of Saturn or Jupiter and Mars, if something goes wrong, they may resort to cannibalism. And so this show that you're talking about, it's very appropriate for that, and kind of scary to know that if someone is going to go to live on a different planet, it may be to be ready for
so
that.
Is the purpose of this show to kind of prepare us for that inevitability, kind of desensitize us from that reality?
I don't know how we ended up on this, but how about we light it up a little bit?
I have to be clear. So I do love food, but this conversation is not doing it for me.
I know, but people love to watch all different sort of movies and documentaries, and sometimes that's it's fascinating to explore the human mind. So nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to be on my New Year's evening menu.
Fava beans and a little Chianti.
See, that's a good example of how something, a little weird, it gets into the common knowledge and everybody has seen that movie, so we don't even need to mention the title of it. So how about we jump into something a little bit more visionary, and being the last episode of the year, maybe we can see what's this last news in technology that got your attention. And of course, as tradition, I'm asking Diana.
Okay, so mine kind of starts a little bit like hearkening back to a very classic holiday movie, which is It's a Wonderful Life, which many of us probably watched with our families and friends over the holidays. And there's a scene in there where George and Mary Bailey, who are played by Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed, help the Martini family escape the really high rents and low quality in Potter's Field, and they welcome the Martinis into their new home at Bailey Park. And it really connects to the very American dream of home ownership. But unfortunately, it's become a lot harder for people to get into their homes, not just because of Mr. Potter, but because the cost of a finished home has gone up by 61% since 2019. And part of what's driving the cost of building a new home are supply chain shortages, labor shortages. Lumber prices alone have gone up by 242%, which is shocking in the last couple of years. So the overall cost of a home is going to be much, much higher for people. So I was really heartened to see this article about a Virginia family moving into their first Habitat for Humanity home. April was the home buyer. She cut the new ribbon on her house in Williamsburg, Virginia, just a few days ago. And she, as with most Habitat for Humanity homes, she had volunteered for 300 hours worth of work. She worked both at the construction site on her home and at a local Habitat reuse store. And her house was made more affordable because it was the first Habitat for Humanity 3D printed home. And 3D printed homes go much faster, so it can take just 12 hours to print the walls, and the walls are printed in concrete. They have these devices that the 3D printer, you kind of put the rails on the side of where the house is going to be, and then it moves back and forth. So instead of a stick-built wooden house where you have people put up the wood, we've all seen those being built around, right? This 3D printer just starts going up and forward and back on the rails and prints out the exterior walls of the house in concrete, and it's much faster. It can reduce the overall cost per square foot between 15% and in some cases arguably 50% of the total build cost. So that was really encouraging. I was super happy about that. But then I did get interested because I have thought about doing concrete floors in homes before. I was wondering about how eco-friendly concrete is if we're going to be 3D printing concrete homes. And that got me down the path of investigating concrete technology and its sustainability. And because it uses cement, it's actually a hazardous and not great sustainable material, because compared to other processes, it uses a lot of energy. It's very fossil fuel intensive. So it actually contributes to carbon dioxide, as we know, to global warming. But as always with technology, in addition to now we can 3D print houses instead of build them out of sticks and wood, and that can decrease costs in the long run. Also, there's great technological advances going with concrete itself. So there's ashcrete, which is being made out of ashes from burning, papercrete, which is made out of a paper pulp that's been discarded, and even grasscrete, where the concrete is more porous and spaced out, and grass fills in the spaces between there, which makes it healthier for the environment and also cheaper and better to manufacture. So excited about 3D houses and excited about what can happen in the future, so that instead of having to be made out of just concrete, maybe they can be made out of even more eco-friendly, sustainable versions of crete as we 3D print these new homes for people.
That's
as long
pretty
as there's
cool.
no Pampers crete, then we're
maybe Pampers crete, you could develop
diapers.
that.
Recycled diapers.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So first of all, I heard about this 3D house printing now for a while. Maybe not as long as, the flying car from the Jetson, which I'm still waiting for. But this one here seems pretty concrete.
Oh,
that a few years ago. And I know that it's been experimenting and so forth. So I'm curious, now that you did some research and I didn't, how much is the portion of the house that is 3D printed? Is it just the wall, or does it include already like the blueprint for the pipes and the electricity and all of that? Where does it stop, the 3D printing?
Right now, from what I understand, 3D printing replaces the exterior walls. So the difference is, instead of when you see them putting up the frames and they're building a new house and it's that whole exterior, it's replacing the exterior walls.
So
it looks like all the finish is still the finish stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So the interior walls and the doors
But still, if you can put up that so quickly and it's so much cheaper, right? That sounds fantastic for for a lot of opportunities where you really need to do it quick, and you really need to, to help people. I mean,
and what was cool about this is that some of these 3D houses are being manufactured commercially. In addition, there's a whole neighborhood in Texas that's going to be 3D printed, in addition to Habitat for Humanity now with their first house being sold. But they're giving they're giving away like 3D printers with the homes, and then software about things that can be replaced in the homes, like doorknobs. So I think that they're starting to try and expand out and think about what can we do. Maybe you can print your own pipes in the future and print your doorknobs and maybe handles for windows and things like that. So it's kind of an interesting looking forward, that right now it seems that we've got the exterior walls, but what else? The other thing I thought would be really interesting is how thick can these walls be, and how does that change the R value? Because that would change the sustainability of the house in the long run. Like our house here, because it's net zero, one of the ways we got to net zero is that we built it's stick built twice. There's an exterior, and then they went in a foot and built the framing of the house, exterior walls again. And what's in between that whole foot is insulation. So the house is essentially a thermos. It's really tight. I'm wondering, is concrete better in the long run? That could then lead to gains in terms of heating and cooling too. Like you go into like an old medieval stone building in Europe, and it's cool in the summer and kind of warm in the winter. So maybe that could contribute too.
Yeah, and I saw the same article, and it speaks to sustainability in terms of hurricanes and tornadoes and things. As well.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Much more durable along those lines.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looks pretty good too. I mean, when we heard this, Marco, from JJ, I think it was some military activity, or not adventure, but some military activity where they were doing this. And I was thinking, well, what does it look like? Is it going to be the house that sticks out like a sore thumb on the block? But it looks pretty good. And the 3D printed part looks almost like brick, like the brick was put in place I guess the bricks were placed as they're being formed versus formed and then placed. So it looks pretty cool from that perspective. And then, like as we talked about earlier, the trim kind of finishes it off. So it's still, you still have the trim around the doors and the posts holding up the front porch covering and things like that. So yeah, it looks cool too from the pictures I've seen anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Like the printed part, has this kind of cool texture, like extruded almost, and yeah, I mean, I suspect you could make it different colors, and then I agree with the trim and the little extras. It starts to look very traditional. So, and who knows, maybe that's going to be like the house of the future. I think that we've gone past modern farmhouse. Right? That seems to be dying out. We're going to start not liking shiplap pretty soon, I think. So who knows, maybe the next big architectural trend is going to be that cool extruded exterior concrete 3D printed look.
Well, my comment on that is, coming from Europe, I remember when I started coming in the US and get outside the big city, like, the first city I saw in the US was New York. But then as you go outside in certain area, I'm like, wow, all these homes are made of wood. It felt really weird to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so they get on fire pretty quick. They burn. And, I started thinking all of that because I was so used to, again, building made of stone that are still there since, the 1400 or earlier. And also, even the house where I grew up, they were made actually of concrete, reinforced concrete with the metal frame in it. So it's almost like I'm looking back at the 70s that this was starting to get common there. So I'm wondering how the sustainability also works when you, Diana, you said like how sustainable is this, but when you have all the homes made of wood, Is that sustainable?
I know. I've had that question from folks from Europe too. They get over to the U.S. and they're like, "Why
Yeah.
wood is like you get termites, it rots." Like
No,
why?
but even at a level of sustainability, I mean, that you mentioned the price going so high for the wood that people. I mean, I
Yeah.
did hear some news that it was, I don't know, in the hundreds percent more expensive during the pandemic. And I'm also thinking, like, you're also cutting down trees. Is that good?
Yeah, it is. It does raise a good question. I mean, I can understand why it started in the United States because when folks landed here, there's a lot of trees in
Yeah.
the U.S. and not so it
To
makes
clear
sense.
the tree for the house to fit.
Exactly. And then what do you do with all the lumber? Or like in New England, we have a ton of these beautiful little stone walls. And same thing as you were tilling the fields and there were all these stones in it. So you built walls. But yeah, now does it make sense? That was hundreds of years ago. Does it still make sense for us to use lumber as our primary building? I do wonder about that. And it was, from the Bloomberg article that I was looking at, said 242% increase in lumber. 242. That's mind boggling. And I suspect the lumber isn't, I don't know how much is coming from the US even anymore.
Well, I think the truth will hit in the middle, as often does, right? So, I mean, you could still have the 3D printing frames, and then as you were talking, you can add the detailing. You can still put an internal panels of wood to keep it warmer and make it prettier. I like the idea of printing all the details as well, because then you could make those much more affordable. And also going back to what we talked last time, to don't have to import, export, all this kind of stuff, but
Print it
actually,
where it is.
print it where it is. And I'm wondering, can you 3D print a 3D printer?
That's meta. I was thinking I'd like to 3D print cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Furnitures. I think they're already doing
Yeah.
that. Chairs, and I'm sure IKEA has his own something to say on it. So cool.
There's quickly with sticking with the house. I doubt they use 3D technology for this, but there's a home that was being built in my old neighborhood in the canyon, which of course is very prone to fires. So rather than being on top, bearing all its wood, prone to burning down, this person dug into the side of the mountain, framed it with steel, poured concrete over it, covered it in dirt. So basically it's an above ground subterranean.
It's a bunker.
It's a bunker.
It's bermed.
So one whole side is glass looking out over the canyon. The other is you drive up and you park on the roof.
Okay, you got to tell me where it is so that I can actually drive there.
It's on the main canyon. You have to come from the ocean side in order to see it, but you'll see it straight up, straight away.
I'll do a little exploration when I get back down to the
Yeah, it's worth checking out. They just covered it in the earth when I left. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So like a berm home.
It's like a berm home, bunker home.
Nice.
One whole side is glass, the rest is covered in dry. I presume it kind of helps. It gets hot right there as well because it's smack dab in the middle of the sun all day and morning, afternoon, evening. So I'm certain it helps with some of the heating and cooling as well.
But then you go on the sustainability level of how so many places now, and I remember there is a museum, I believe in San Francisco, that is made by this Italian architect, and it's all covered by grass on top of it. So it's kind of like, again, a bunker, because when you, even on the high-rise building, I was in Japan and I saw parks on top of the high-rise, and with kids playing and trees and flowers and everything, and it keeps the temperature. It isolated. It can save a ton of money through the year in AC or heating because it's insulating the inside. So, you can go back in Mother Nature and ask for help right there. Maybe that's a good a good vision for the future. I'm all over that.
I agree. I think that, yeah, like, why not reassess what we're doing? Even when we built this house, we had a discussion with it took us a while to find a builder that understood net zero. And we had some conversations with builders, and they said essentially to us, oil heat was good enough for my grandfather, so it's good enough for us, And I was like, well, we're not saying that it's a horror. We're just like, maybe we can, if we have advanced technology, can we apply that to the building process? Is all.
Well, hammers made of stone were good for the Flintstone. I wouldn't say it's good for me now. So I can't see IoT.
But Fred's
Stick
car
with your
was
Palm Pilot, buddy. Stick with your Palm Pilot.
Yeah, Fred Flintstone.
his car was super eco-friendly though, because it ran just with his feet, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No
Did you see how fast it could go?
manufactured. No Nikes being sold for that one.
Oh, now we're going back in time.
I always wanted that disposal. They had that like cute little critter that lived under their sink that was their disposal. I just thought it'd be nice to have like.
Do you realize how actually futuristic the Flintstone was? I mean,
It's like the Jetsons.
yeah, like I remember the birds that it's playing the record when they
right.
just put the beak of the.
That's right, with its beak. Yeah.
Exactly. It must have worked. So, I'm all over that. All right, Sean, what you got?
All right. Speaking of beaks.
See?
Yes.
I didn't know.
There you go. You didn't know.
Set up.
Yep, we all have our own beaks. Ours look different than birds, but so my news, and I actually saw the news Diana brought as well, so I'm glad I didn't pick that one. Thanks for bringing that one, Diana. Mine, you can picture this carousel. I don't know if anybody had a carousel of crayons where you would spin it around, or different colored pens where you'd spin it around and pick a color. So picture that, and it's filled not with crayons, but with tasty solutions. And this carousel spins around and creates a mixture of multiple flavors that then replicate something that tastes like something else. So like a piece of air fried fake chicken. If you remember that story in the previous episode. No, so this is the TV you can lick.
The TV you can lick.
Yes,
Wow.
I don't know if it's very hygienic given the current situation. People walking around licking TVs, but anyway, it's a flat screen TV with a film on it that gets sprayed by this carousel of flavors, and the mixture of flavors.
Does it have smells too?
Let you lick the TV and taste a strawberry or a chocolate mousse.
Can we smell it too? Is it going to smell?
Yeah, because that's my thing. We were still working on the smell, and now we're actually already at the taste of it. Okay.
The taste part. Yeah. The smell-o-vision is still like.
So wait, Sean. It's a film that goes on the TV. Now, how is this flavor produced on the TV?
The only way I can, based on pictures, it looks like this, like a stream, or not a stream, I don't even know how to describe it, like a film that floats across like a roll of paper that might float across and roll down across the screen, but it's a film. I don't think it really says here. But basically, it wipes as it's coming across the screen. It's wiping across the flavor canisters.
There's so many things I want to say right now. First of all, I want to find out who came out with this and invite it to one of our podcasts to talk about it.
Where do you think it's from, Marco?
Italy.
No.
Okay, because food, but no, probably we would not go for something like that.
Its innovation is rooted in Japan.
Japan. Okay, I can see that.
So the idea, the goal for them is to bring the restaurant to your TV.
Okay.
But you will be able to kind of get the flavor, pound intended.
Does it have
But
to
you're
be,
not gonna have a freaking meal, are you?
You're still going to be hungry, I have a feeling. Yeah.
does it have to be on the TV? Like, remember
Good question.
when John Waters did polyester and he had the Odorama card that had like, you know, like pizza smell and skunk smell, and I think there was fart smell on there. But that was basically like a scratch and sniff card. So
Right.
could you get well, but then it wouldn't be, you'd have to mail it, I guess, if it was just as a card, and this somehow can get through the television.
Or an accessory that is non. It's the lick in the TV that freaks me out.
I don't know how they're getting the
How do you
taste
get
there,
past
though.
You have remotes and you know voice activation for channel pausing, all of that. Now all of a sudden you're like, let me stand up and go taste and lick the TV.
Could you pause that, honey? I need to lick the TV to really experience it. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is the best news we've
Well,
ever
so
had.
now
It-
I'm going to tell you.
It's voice activated too, by the way. So you can say, "Give me a piece of pizza, please. I'd like a slice now."
And if you're watching Yellow Jackets,
Oh
Come
God,
on.
you're going there. Let me taste this.
Well,
sorry.
you asked about does it have to be on a TV, and I didn't take the time to dig deeper because I was like, this is good. This is gonna be enough. But evidently they've also built a prototype smart fork that makes food taste better, according to this article.
Wow.
A fork that makes food taste richer. Sorry.
I was like,
Next,
enhances it.
What are they lacing? it with? Yeah.
next thing I know, I'm gonna walk in the street. I'm gonna start seeing people licking their phone
Look at their phone.
because they just had a virtual ice cream, a virtual gelato, and they're just enjoying it. And when it's over, it's over. You just you just bought like, I don't know, $3 worth of chocolate and vanilla. Okay.
We just got used to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Daniel.
I was gonna say we just got used to people like walking down the street and seemingly talking to nobody. We realized, yeah, they're just on their headset, you know, their Bluetooth. But
Now it's gonna be like, yeah,
And
they're
maybe
just having
licking.
an ice cream.
yeah.
So
Wow.
it didn't say it in the article, but I can see maybe because it's chocolate, right? So maybe you could taste test the chocolate
Mhm.
before you buy it online.
Yeah,
That could be interesting. They also talk about trivia, or not trivia games, but family games using this. So what are you tasting? Could be.
Oh, okay. Like a
Okay.
little
No, I
game.
could see that. Yeah.
Could be a fun
You know, it
game.
reminds me Harry Potter, the flavor, all flavor candies that sometimes you can get the one that tastes like buggers and stuff like that, and you never know. And you know, the surprise candies. But
The popcorn jelly belly. That's what you got.
yeah, the jelly bean, But it reminds me that you mentioned that, Diana, that those when you can smell the perfume in the magazine, they're still doing it. And I think it works because I mean it's been going on for many years. So I think that's something that it's working. I don't know if I would want to get a magazine that smells like cheese pizza, but because even the perfume can be overwhelming when you have the magazine sitting on the coffee table.
Quattro formaggio, Marco.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, this is interesting. So this is where we're going. Now I can see the application in the virtual reality world.
I do wonder, like with the taste the chocolate before you buy it. I mean, how accurate can they be? Because perfume, you just take the scent and you put a little bit onto something that's going to retain it, and then you're getting the perfume. It's just been infused into that card. But with the chocolate, you've got to somehow extract the chocolate flavor and match it, right? You gotta.
But you can do it. I mean, yeah,
Technology possible.
You can extract pretty much any.
May not be.
I mean,
fiscally feasible.
Right. or or last that long. I mean, obviously, perfume, I think, has the capacity to last much longer than, I don't know, something like related to food. But okay, well, that's
a spinning wheel of flavors the size of a football stadium.
so the
And
question
learning
for
all
the
the different
future:
taste combinations.
is this the future you want to live in?
Well, I'm seeing all these reviews now online because, a lot of times you get a review and it's like, this color was not represented at all. This is, it says it's a coral, but really it's much more of a peach, right? So I can imagine all these reviews with like, this chocolate tasted nothing like
Right.
my TV chocolate. Like when I licked it on the TV, it was delicious.
Well,
Maybe it
also
was your
raises
TV wasn't a good
Exactly. You have to
good
adjust
media.
your flavor tones.
Well, it makes me wonder. I mean, well, some people try to get away from red number 6. Or I don't even know what the numbers are. What the heck is this stuff that you're licking?
Yeah, that's
Some chemical, anyway.
a good question.
Oh, I would not invest into this business. And I'm not recommending anything. I'm not a marketing analyst or anything.
Be all the rave for all the kids.
This is, if we don't get into this now, Marco, it's going to be like not getting it on plastics at the ground floor. We're going to regret it for the rest of our lives.
Well, there again, if you told me that I was going to eat a burger that tastes like burger and it's called Impossible Burger or any other, Beyond Meat or any other brand, and I actually enjoyed it, you tell me that 5 years ago, I would say you're crazy. And here I am eating a burger made of not meat, and we talked about all these things in the past. So we'll see. I mean, they better make it safe though. But I'm still not gonna leak the TV screen. I can tell that much. They gotta come out with something different than that.
Just make sure your phone's waterproof before you start licking it.
Oh my God. Okay.
I don't even know.
That was a good laugh. Thank you, Sean. Thank you very, very much.
Tasty.
All right. So we got a few minutes left, and as I mentioned at the beginning, I would like your quick opinion on these 5 prediction.
Suck. Was that quick enough?
And again, Sean, you can answer yes or no if you want. So this is from Forbes, and the guy's name is Bernard Marr, and he's an author, he's a keynote speaker, futurist, and strategist, and I believe he's based in the UK. And he actually wrote this in September 27th. So he was a futurist even in in the way that he wrote this. He didn't wait for December. He already knew what was going on here. So his approach is, let's look at the concrete things that did happen this year with the digital transformation and the stuff that really technology is helping us to be more flexible, and what really has changed due to the fact that we couldn't work in the office, we're working remotely, and technology that has been, towards democratization and, bringing broadband for everyone, and not necessarily to everyone, but that's a different conversation. So he's touching on 5 topics that are more feasible, right? Not the crazy stuff like licking a TV and tasting it.
Is that crazy though?
Is it?
It's just the future.
Or is it? So the first one is artificial intelligence everywhere, and he goes in depth to explaining how what he means with that. And I just make it like the fact that smart is not necessarily mean to be connected, as it was like, I have a smart device. I mean, we're talking about artificial intelligence, maybe analyzing data to the point of interfaces that can help with health and all this kind of stuff, and controlling robots and cars, making it safer. So like the actual concrete application of artificial intelligence. And what's your take on that? Is it still going to be a marketing thing? I know, Sean, you wrote extensively about this.
Yeah.
Or is really here and even more in 2022?
Go ahead, Diana.
I think it comes down to, as you were talking about, the actual applications and being able to differentiate between what's machine learning and what's artificial intelligence, because I think people kind of push them together a lot. And general AI is what we see in the movies all the time, where systems are going to repair themselves. Narrow AI is when we apply to a specific task, and we know, that this robot's going to move this widget from here to there, kind of thing, and that as part of automation. So I think that if we look at use of machine learning algorithms and being able to sift through and find patterns in massive amounts of data, it's here. I don't even think it's future. It's already here, and we'll just continue to see more and more of that. What I don't think we're going to see is the general AI of systems, suddenly inventing new versions of themselves and fixing themselves and sentient robots. I don't think that we're there. And even when we expand out to try and do something that appears fairly simple but is complex, like autonomous driving, we realize that as long as we're narrow, it's actually already here. When we start to get a little bit broader and into more complex situations, we may not be there yet. So I don't know. That's my. What do you think, Sean?
I agree completely, and then I would quickly add that I think it's a matter of, so something has to learn to do something based on a set of data, and it continues to learn, and at some point it might be that whatever it learned is no longer valid, right? And it has to learn.
Yeah,
and it has to learn the complete opposite of what it's spent its entire life learning.
yeah.
I don't know how close we are to something like that, and if it requires just take the pandemic, right? If we had 50 years of data saying this is how society lives and we're trying to make it better, and then boom, a pandemic hits, will an AI system respond to that? And how? And so the other point I quickly want to make is there's the completely autonomous where there's no human involved. And I don't know if that's in the near future. I think there's always, because of that example I gave, I think there'll always need to be a human at the helm, at the button, if you will.
I'm just going to quickly add to that. Yeah. I don't want to believe it's just a need of the human, but I think it's a smart idea if there is always a human there. So augmenting our capacities and of analyzing data and so forth. So I 100% agree with you, and you're way smarter than me when it comes to this stuff, for sure. And I really want to hear your opinion on this, because it really comes onto the realm of cybersecurity as well, even if this is not necessarily cybersecurity based. But the second prediction is everything as a service and the no-code revolution. So again, people don't need to reinvent the wheel all the time, but you can buy open source technology and components and even code without knowing how to code, and how that open possibilities. We're not going in log4j here, Sean, so don't go there. But your opinion on this, like technology and coding and as a service.
I think it's here. I'll go quick first, Dan. I think it's here. It's a matter of how fast does the legacy crap go away.
That's on the TV, so don't look that.
That's super succinct. +1 to that, definitely. It's here. It's here. It's in use. And I think that the note for everybody is legacy, but also that we make sure that we use it responsibly and that we do understand the dependencies within our systems. Because as we saw with Log4j, a lot of companies at first were like, we have no Log4j anywhere. And it's like, oh, actually they did, because one of their vendors had it embedded in their offering. So it's low code, no code is here, but as we're stitching together services and applications from other providers, we got to make sure that we understand what we've built and what the risks related to those dependencies may be, should one of those libraries or other components go awry.
We quickly lose control of what's in the supply chain.
Yeah.
If all the Teslas had, I don't know, I'm not saying they do, if they all had Log4j.
And I
as a
guess
component, right? That could be a
Yeah, and even with this the scripting, I mean, I see a lot of companies. I mean, what we can do with these scripting tools are amazing, but people forget that they granted full access into some very sensitive database because they were trying to create a new workflow, and then that's great, but just if you don't need it anymore, shut it down or make sure that you've limited access to just what that script needs to know, that kind of stuff.
so. What I hear is a lot more innovation, but there could be a lot more risk.
Yeah, and then
If
it's
something goes
here.
wrong, you just amplify.
Yeah, your
to
futurist
infinite.
is he's talking about this futurist is talking about stuff that are very both AI and ML and low code no code they're here. they're here.
Yep, no questions about it. I mean, you mentioned a few things like Microsoft Codex and another thing, Elon Musk. I think it has the Open AI platform and so forth. But anyway, we'll put the link to this so people can actually dig deeper. We're just going really fast over this. So the next one is datification and virtualization. So working from home, interacting at the digital level, and starting to learn to live and coexist with, I'm going to say it, the metaverse, of course, virtual reality. Sean, there is a point here about in a virtual reality, through a headset, a range of new devices coming to the market will soon gradually improve the experience, offering tactile feedback and even smells. So there is a note about that, and you just jump into taste. So what's your take on this? I mean, I know we talked about this a lot, but the fact that we're becoming more digital in our interaction in everyday life.
I mean, again, I feel like we are already more digital and interactive in our everyday lives. So much has already gone on. I think that the reason that we're starting to hear more about smells and about the metaverse and about taste even is that we've brought so much online already, and everyone's looking for, well, what's the next big thing? Can we have more of the, we get that we can all do video with each other, which, I mean, I don't mean to dismiss it, because really, honestly, 20 years ago, it was like, are we going to have this technology? Can we ever actually do this? And it's here. But so I think, sure, we're going to continue to use more digitization, but it's going to be interesting to see, can we expand to smells and taste and more of that 3D virtual reality? And that I'm not sure if we're going to see as much of that in the next year or not.
And do we want it?
And do we want it?
Yeah. I'm gonna harken back to another piece I wrote a while back, Marco, and I think to Diana's point, a lot of this stuff is here, right? And it might be for specific use cases, for certain situations and certain applications. But it may be all around us in many things. And so we're interacting with all these technologies in some way or another. What I'm wondering is, when will the point come where that is where we live, with where those things are the world that we're used to? And back to the article that I wrote, when does the non-technological world come in and play a role where we're actually looking the other way, from within the digital out to the real?
We go back to vinyl. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Forest bathing. Like, instead of a meditation app, just go out and walk in the woods.
Exactly.
That too, and pay a lot of money to do that in some specialized tourist resorts. Next one: transparency, governance, and accountability, which is kind of wrap all the things we've touched on before. So with all these AI and digitalization of our life and all of that, the role, I guess, of let's make the rule, like Artificial Intelligence Act, and we talked with the European community that has this incredible and way advanced way to make AI and advanced technology more transparent and more understandable, right? To everyone. So what's the role of legislation, I guess, on all of this?
This is a tough one because
It's a long
I
one.
don't have very positive look on it, just because of the complexity in it. I mean, we talked about everything. There's no code needed. Everything's a service and componentized, and you can build whatever you want, and you have systems of systems. I don't know how do you verify and validate each element and prove that it was created by someone or something trustworthy, and that it's actually being used with the intent for which it was built. I mean, there's just so much here. I don't know that legislation will have a win here. I think I don't really have an answer. I think it's so complex that to have an overarching governance view of all this stuff is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah,
That's my view.
I wonder if we go out into the physical world and we look at things like cars, and I think I don't know if people ever created their own cars, but when you look at a car, you don't say, oh, who created all of the various components? Say, I'm buying this from Honda, or I'm buying this from BMW. And even though they sourced from multiple different vendors, they put it into a car that has their name on it. So at some level, they take the responsibility of what those components are and validating them. And we see this in PCs too. I mean, way back, people used to you just bought a bunch of stuff, and you bought a motherboard, and you bought RAM, and you bought the hard drive, and you just cobbled it all together, and you put it into a shell, and you made your own PC. And that very rarely does that happen anymore. Most people say, well, I'm going to buy a known name brand. I'm going to buy, from Dell, or I'm going to buy from Apple, for example. And even though there are multiple different vendor components in there, again, that vendor takes responsibility and says, I've got transparency across the supply chain. Trust me when you buy this, or trust me when you buy the Cisco router, that Cisco has validated the supply chain. So I wonder if maybe we'll see some of that online, where we'll see more. And when you talk about platforms, that's kind of moving in that direction, so that you buy it from a vendor and they've got the different pieces in there. They take the time to do the transparency, and then we'll do the governance. And then if you wanted to get transparency, you can. But I don't know if people are going to fully do that. I mean, do you know the components that are in your phone? I don't think most people do.
No, and my concern is less about the big name brands, though. I think there should be plenty of concern there too. It's the micro societies and micro networks that we end up creating because we can, and they're purpose built for bringing people together to do certain things, and they're comprised of different technologies, and they have physical and digital elements, and it's not built by a big brand. It's built by a community where people are almost open source, where people are contributing their part to it. And I don't know, we'll see. I think we'll see a lot of this with the metaverse stuff for sure, where people spin up their own worlds, and who knows what goes on in them.
Yeah. We're sort of starting to emerge now with the decentralized, and I guess this is all the W3, but the decentralized currency and value in currency. I mean, this is a huge shift. If it really sticks, it's a huge shift in how the world has been working for a long time. Because once we moved off of barter and got to fiat currency and government backing, that's been the system we've been in for a very long time. And we depend on government oversight to protect. But if we, in W3, move to truly decentralized currencies, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and kind of a little bit scary, because a lot of people can, you could be at risk and lose all your assets, all your NFT, all your Dogecoin.
Very cool. Very cool. I congratulate you for keeping very short answers that would probably take an entire, maybe a 3-series panel to go over that. but it gave this idea, and I'm going to skip the fifth one, which is renewable energy. And we talk.
Let's dig into that one.
That's our favorite. Yeah.
I know, but we're kind of hitting the hour, and I think that we talk about I think people know how we feel about that one.
Let's save some energy for next one.
Let's save some energy for the next one. An idea will be to maybe discuss each one of these that we just discussed. But I think that altogether it paints that picture that we're trying to paint on ITSP Magazine, and we've been doing that for 6 years, which is everything is related, right? It's not just a silos of a system like, yeah, AI is stand on its own and coding is not. It's all, we're all part of that. We have a synergy between the technology, the society, and of course the security, privacy, and blah 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 part. So I like that we ended up with this because it's all connected.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom
My
line.
final point is, at this point in time, we still have control as humans, so we can define what the future holds.
And maybe the wish is
let's pay
to
attention.
keep it.
Let's pay attention to what we're doing.
And let's keep control. Let's keep this control. Let's not give it up to the unknown, right? It's would not be a good thing.
And listen to the science. You're speaking of another movie that was people are watching over the holidays, Don't Look Up, right? Where they had the technology to avert the comet and they decided not to. They decided to turn it around for greed.
I almost brought a news about that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find the full details. So I'm going to bring something related to that another time.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. And guess what? The next time that we chat,
it
will be a new year. And I'm going to take just with these quick seconds to wish everyone to finally have the year that we've been dreaming of in the past two. And I really have a good feeling that 2022 will come with a lot of bright spots and a lot of enlightenment, maybe being positive here for a change. That from these 2 years, that maybe it shows a really bad side of humanity, but also the really good one. So I hope that will prevail. And with that, that's my wish, and I'll leave the word to you, Sean and Diana, to say goodbye and see you next year.
I'll leave it to Diana next. Go for it.
Yeah, happy 2022, everybody. Happy New Year, and may it be a healthy and peaceful one for all.
And with that, peace
safe
out.
safe and prosperous. Thanks, everybody. See you next year.
Yay.
Blue Lava is the first business platform for CISOs to manage their security program. Blue Lava guides security leaders to effectively measure, optimize, and communicate their security program with confidence and ease in one platform. Learn more at bluelava.net. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Through the TechVine podcast. If you learned something new and this podcast made you think, then share itspmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.